this great state as well. So, again, Mack Rhoades, Director of Athletics, will join us. Oh, he's back. He's with us on Sikkim 365 Radio. Craig, Paul, and David Smoak. Can you try to put into, and we asked John Jacobs, words what you've seen from your men's basketball team the last couple of games with being undermanned?
Yeah, I mean, there's probably a lot of words, but just scrappy and gritty and tough and perseverance and next person up. And I mean, it's been a lot. And the way we've fought through, adversity has been something. And it's a great job, number one, by those student athletes, just to find a way, and number two, just a great job by Scott and the staff. And I do think Scott's he's not the best in the country. He's as good as anybody in the country, and I think he's the best in terms of finding ways to win when you're not at full strength, and making those adjustments game by game.
Mac, on Saturday, did you think that somebody else was going to come off the bench eventually when they're playing TCU and pretty much just six guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think it. Candidly, I think it was a little bit of a surprise that Adam wasn't going to be able to play, and of course couldn't because of the knee. But I mean, you start to think about, wow, who's next, and how are we going to manage to beat a what I think is a really good and well coached TCU team. And so to be able to just fight through that one, and then go to overtime last night, and be able to walk out of there with a win, is incredible. Somebody was telling me that we're the first team to win 7 in a row in Stillwater since Kansas State in the 60s and 70s.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to do that with just a depleted roster. So we'll keep fighting.
Mac, what's it like to have College Gameday coming back to campus this time for basketball? I know they're no stranger to Waco, but obviously that KU matchup is a big one, and should be a good atmosphere.
Yeah, we're excited about it. It's an honor. It's certainly an honor and a privilege, and I say that with all sincerity. And it's the conversation we had yesterday with the executive team. Let's never take this for granted to have College Gameday come to our campus, 2 years in a row for men's basketball. That's a statement in terms of our basketball program and how well thought of it is nationally, and certainly by our TV partner ESPN. And shouldn't matter if this is the second time or the 10th time. Our standard, the standard, and it needs to be a great experience every time. And so we've got staff that's, as just terrific and unbelievable, and we'll make sure that it's a great experience for ESPN. It's a great experience for our students and for our fans, and grateful for the partnership with campus and just working with our student area to get our students out there for both College Gameday and the game. And so we'll do the lock-in again at Farrell Center from 9 to 12. Come and show up, and and then you spend the night in the Farrell Center, and you'll get first access for the live show at 10 a.m. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Mac, to that end of getting students involved, once again, Sing falls on absolutely maybe the worst night that you would want it to for basketball with Kansas, the big daddy of the Big 12 for the longest time, and you guys, the reigning Big 12 champions, meeting on your home court in a key conference matchup. Can there be something done at the early part of the year, maybe before the schedule comes out, where you guys might have a veto or some kind of thing like, can we move Sing to a different date so the students aren't torn asunder as to which event they have to attend?
Well, we've had some conversation at the university level, and I didn't quite use the word veto. Not sure that would have played very, but yeah, I think, we certainly had a conversation, and we can be more intentional. It's obviously two great events, and we certainly think there's enough students, and we'll have capacity at Sing, and we'll have a capacity student crowd at the game. But just trying to be better at not forcing our students to have to make that decision.
There is a lot of discussion. I interviewed Lovie Smith today, head coach of the Houston Texans, who's been now 3 times a head coach in the NFL. And you know about a lot of the discussion about diversity, the Rooney Rule in the NFL, diversity in a lot of things when it comes to sports. But Baylor seems to be, I don't know if you're ahead of the curve, but it seems as if you have a very diverse staff. I know Marcus Sedbury's now gone, and you talked about what kind of a hit that was. Is that something that others are noticing? It's not like you're going to raise your hand and go, hey, look at our staff.
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up. I mean, when we arrived on campus 5 years ago, we were very, very intentional about diversity on our staff, and particularly our leadership staff, and then continuing to grow that throughout our department, and then obviously looking at it throughout our sports programs, and I'm a big believer, always have been. We did this at Akron, we did it at Houston, we were in the process of doing it at Missouri. It just makes you better as an organization, and you think about the makeup of your student athletes, and every place I've been, you have a really diverse group of student athletes, and I feel like as a staff, we need to represent that as best we can, and making sure that we're connecting with all of our student athletes. So we've been intentional. It's important to us. It's part of the fabric of who we are. And look, there's always room for growth. And one of our operating principles, and we've talked about this, is we have 6 core operating principles, and one of those is treat everyone with dignity and respect. And that's something that we try to be intentional about and work at each and every day. And again, certainly we have room for growth, and we're not perfect, but it's something that will always be a priority for us, and we'll be intentional with.
Mac, what was it like to see some of the spring sports starting to get underway now?
Yeah, it was great to experience them. And you think about spring sports, you certainly think about outdoors, and so to be able to go to baseball, and I know that was a tough opening series, but I think there were some positives throughout the 3-game series, and some things for Coach Rodriguez and the staff to build on, and I think we're going to have a really good baseball year, and to see softball compete against Oregon, which I can't remember if they were 12th or 13th in the country, but compete at a high level to watch them. And we've got tennis and soft and both golf programs in gear, and equestrian finished up their we had the senior recognition on Friday. So just, I mean, a lot going on, acrobatics and tumbling, and I'm trying to make sure, there's just so much. We've got indoor track and field at Big 12 championships this weekend. So this is a fun time of year, and it's just great to be part of it.
Baylor Director of Athletics Mack Rhoades with us Tuesdays, in the 4 o'clock hour. Last time we spoke with you was a couple of weeks ago, and since that time, there's this football coach you have who signed an extension quite a long time ago, but also then it became official. And I know people were getting antsy, and we were bothering the hell out of you. How much was that nice just to get that out?
Yeah, I think it was just nice to get it out, and I promise you, we weren't trying to do anything necessarily creative with it, or intentionally withhold. I mean, I think I said it publicly once, maybe not, but the extension was executed on January 22nd, and we probably had everything completely lined up, agreed to, paperwork, all of those things prior to going into the Sugar Bowl. And, just didn't want it to be a distraction or a topic of conversation. His side had to look at a couple things just from tax perspective. But, we've been in a good place for a long time, and again, finally signed on the 22nd. And then, we held it. We wanted to announce, all of the staff changes and enhancements. And, that's who Coach Aranda is, wanting to see about everybody else other than himself. And so we finally just found the right spot to announce it. And, certainly excited, for him to, have the additional years, 7 more seasons. One of the things that didn't talk about, but he has the opportunity to earn an 8th season as well within the contract. I think it's fair, and I think it's competitive. And if you ask Coach, he would tell you the same thing. And so we're in a really good place, and just grateful that we were able to get that done.
There are coaches who are good at deflecting and distributing the attention among their staff and the players and all that. Coach Drew among them. There are coaches in the world who are desperate for attention only on themselves all the time, all across the college sports spectrum. But I don't know if there's somebody I've ever encountered who wants less attention for themselves individually than Dave Aranda.
Yeah, I would I'd agree with you. He's unique in that way, and I don't think he'd mind me saying this. I hope not, because I'm about ready to say it publicly. But I think just attention on him makes him uncomfortable, and he's just that type of person, and I think that's why you'll see players run through a brick wall for him, because they know they trust him. And they know that every conversation they have with him is genuine, and that he cares about them. And again, it's about others, and really doesn't want it to be about him. And I'll say this in fairness to our other head coaches. I think that's one of the things that makes Baylor special. We have a lot of head coaches like that, and you've heard me say it before. No one person is bigger than this institution. Certainly starts with me, but got a collection of coaches that really believe that, and they live that out. It's the way they treat other people and coach their student athletes, and so it's a great group of head coaches.
Hey, Max, since the last time we talked to you, we know now the college football playoff is not going to be expanding. I know Bob Bowlesby's commented on kind of the process throughout, but no expansion for the college football playoff, it appears, for at least the next 3 seasons. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think just raw, disappointed. I think it's I don't know. I think it's a missed opportunity, and and I think people go immediately to the money piece, but I really believe that the expansion was going to make college football better, more excitement toward the end, more meaningful games. The last couple weeks, 3 weeks of the season. So that's probably my raw emotion. I do think the change in commissioners and recent change in commissioners and in 3 of the Power 5 conferences certainly played a role. I think just the craziness right now, the unprecedented times in the NCAA, the transfer portal, the name, image, and likeness, Alston, antitrust, all of that played a role. What I don't know is I don't know that we're going to solve any of those things, and then all of a sudden there's going to be this perfect window to now think about and focus on expansion. So I think those things are still going to be things that we're going to be working through even in 2025 when you start thinking about 2026. And so I wish I wish it was there was a different answer than we're gonna wait until the current 12 years expires.
On the chat room, I want to share this with you, and I know you got to go, and we always appreciate the access from Ray Grange. Mac is awesome. As a former Missourian, I'm glad he was able to get past the Missouri bad timing of that situation and found his niche at Baylor as an exceptional leader, as I've heard from others as well. Sharing that with you.
Well, that's nice of him to say, and we God put us in Missouri for a particular reason, and it was to navigate some really difficult times, and I'm grateful for the experience. I'm grateful for that opportunity, and grateful for the people that we met and we call friends. And then, I'm most grateful that God called us to come to Baylor.
Thank you, Mac. Baylor's Director of Athletics, Mack Rhoades, with us on Tuesdays, Sikkim 365 Radio, 365 Sports. We'll have Craig and Off the Radar. Jack McKenzie in the background today, Off the Radar himself, along with Armstrong Sims, but without them, we're not here. And our great sponsors and partners, Sikkim 365 Radio.